Get ready for unique, rare, and little-known treasures from the golden age of radio. You're listening to The Amazing World of Radio with Adam Graham.
Well, we continue on with our summer series focused on the works of Robert Louis Stevenson with Episode 2 in World's Great Novels adaptation of Kidnapped. The original air date, May 7th, 1948. Let's take a listen.
The World's Great Novels. The National Broadcasting Company presents the second episode in its dramatization of Robert Louis Stevenson's great story of Scotland, of David Balfour and Alan Brechk Stewart, Kidnapped, another of its series of books that live, the world's great novels.
After the murder of the cabin boy, I had to take his place in the ship's roundhouse and serve the 3 officers. I slept on the floor and ran at the call of 3 men I looked down on, and one of whom at least should have been hung upon a gallows. The future planned for me, moreover, by my wicked uncle and the captain he'd bribed to kidnap me, was to be sold as a slave in the Carolinas. When I thought of all my uncle had done to rob me of my inheritance, cold anger swept away my fear. One evening, the wind dropped. In a fallen swell, we ran into a fog. Men were posted about the decks. I asked Mr. Ryack what they were doing.
Well, listening for breakers, lad. Oh? To give a wide berth to yon rocks.
I see.
She's struck. We're on the rocks. The rocks, man. The rocks.
Are we caught on the rocks, Captain?
No, not caught on the rocks. We but run down a rather small boat.
How is she? Don't for in this fog. I cut in half. Man in the boat.
What's that? Look alive there.
A man being brought aboard, sir. He leaped and grabbed our bowsprit.
Bring him to me.
Aye, sir. A French passenger, sir.
Well, sir, you wear a fine French coat for the likes of my ship.
You seem to be a gentleman of great penetration.
You've a French officer's coat upon your back and a Scotch tongue in your head.
Well, Captain, to be plain with you, I'm one of those honest gentlemen that were in trouble about the year 45.
Aye.
And if I got into the hands of any of the red-coated gentry who served the man they call King George, it would go hard with me.
Aye, that I can believe.
Now, sir, I was for France, and there was a French ship cruising here to pick me up, but she gave my little boat to go by in the fog. But if you can set me ashore where I was going, I have that upon me. Will reward you highly for your trouble.
We don't know that I cannot do, but we might talk of taking you back to Scotland. We might talk.
I have here, sir, as you see, a belt about my body.
Aye?
It's a full belt.
Aye.
And 'tis full of coins like these.
Oh, guineas.
Aye, sir, golden guineas.
Half of it, and I'm your man.
Oh, at that, I must put the gold away again.
Oh.
You see, sir, it's my chieftain's gold, and while I would be but a silly messenger to grudge some of it that the rest might come safe, I should show myself a hound indeed if I bought my own carcass too dear.
Oh, but man,
30 guineas on the seaside, or 60 if you set me on the Linney Loch. Take it if you will. If not, you can do your worst.
Well, 60 guineas and done. And here is my hand on it.
Aye, and here's mine.
The ship had no accommodation for passengers, so the officers moved out of the roundhouse and gave it over to their paying guest. Here I had under my eyes a man whose life was forfeit on many counts. He was not only a rebel and a rent smuggler, but he'd taken service with the King of France, the enemy of King George. Now, I was loyal to King George, as good a Whig, as the Jacobites called us, as my friend Mr. Campbell had been able to make me. But I was 17. I could not look on such a man without a lively interest. Here's your meat, sir.
Thanks, lad.
And so, you're a Jacobite?
Aye. And you, by your long face, should be a Whig.
Oh, betwixt and between.
And that means nothing. But I'm saying, Mr. Betwixt and Between, this bottle of yours is dry, and it's hard if I'm to pay 60 guineas and begrudge a dram of liquor on the back of it.
I'll go and ask for the key. And so I stepped out on deck. I found the captain and 2 officers in the waist with their heads together. It struck me they were after no good, so I drew near very softly.
See here, couldn't we trick the Jacobite out of the roundhouse?
No, Mr. Ryak. He's better where he is. He has no room to use his sword.
Aye, true, Captain, but he's hard to come at.
But we can get the man in talk and pin him by the arms. Or we can make a run by both doors and get him underhand before he has the time to draw.
Sir?
Aye.
The gentleman seeks a dram, and the bottle's out.
Well, here's our chance to get the firearms from the roundhouse.
David,
Aye?
do you ken where the pistols are?
Aye, David kens, of course. David's a good lad. Hey, you see, Davy, my man, yon wild Hieland man is a danger to the ship, besides being a rank foe to King George, God bless him.
Aye, sir?
You see, the trouble is, we have no firelocks except those stored by my berth in the roundhouse. Now, if I or one of the officers was to go in and take them, he'd fall to thinking. But a boy like you, David, might snap up a powder horn and a pistol or 2 without remark. And if you can, I'll bear it in mind when it'll be good for you to have friends. And that's when we reach Carolina.
Captain,
Eh?
don't you think you might suggest to him that you
You're very right, Mr. Ryak. See here, David. Yon man has a belt full of gold. And I give you my word, you shall have your fingers in it.
Very well, sir.
You're a good lad, David. Here's the key to the brandy locker. And mind that we'll be waiting for the pistols.
With that, I went slowly back to the roundhouse, pondering what to do. They were dogs and thieves and murderers. And was I to hold the candle to another murder? But then, on the other hand, there was the fear of death plain before me. I was still arguing it back and forth when I got back to the roundhouse.
Well, lad, have you got the key? I'm parched.
Aye. Here.
Then where's the locker? Come, get a move on.
I think they want to kill ye.
What's that?
Oh, they're all murderers here. They've murdered a boy already. No, it's you.
Aye?
They want me to get them some of them pistols there in the corner.
Aye. Aye, but they haven't got me yet. Will you stand with me, lad?
That I will. I'm no murderer. I'll stand by ye.
Aye, then. What's your name?
David Balfour, of Shaw's.
Laird of Shaw's. Well, my name is Stewart. Alan Brechk, they call me.
Aye, Mr. Stewart.
Now, let's look to the defenses of this roundhouse. It is strongly built.
Aye.
We need not take note of these wee windows. No man could pass his body through.
Oh, but there's the skylight and the 2 doors. Only one's locked. I'll lock this one.
Well, now, David, I have but one face. So long as that one door is open and my face to it, the best part of my enemies will be in front of me.
Oh, yes. It must stay open.
Aye. Here now, take this cutlass. But get you down a powder horn, a bag of bullets, and all the pistols to charge them.
Aye, that I'll do.
I'll face the door here with my own good sword. Aye, there's none too much space. And that's a pity, too. First of all, how many are against us, lad?
15.
15. Well, that can't be cured. Now, follow what I say. It is my part to keep this door where I look for the main battle.
There's the door behind you, which they may break in.
Aye, and that's part of your work. You must climb up into the bed by yon window. And if they lift hand against the door, you're to shoot. But that's not all. Now, what else have you to guard?
The skylight.
Good.
But Oh, indeed, Mr. Stewart. I would need eyes on both sides of my head to keep the two. For when my face is at one, my back is to the other.
And that's very true. But have you no ears?
To be sure, I must hear the burst in a glass.
You have some rudiments of sense. Now, charge the pistols.
Now our time of truce was come to an end. Those on deck had waited for my coming till they grew impatient. Look through the doorway, the captain!
Stand!
This is a strange return for hospitality. A naked sod.
It has slashed the heads off more wigs than you have toes upon your feet. Call up your vermin to your back, sir, and fall on. The sooner the clash begins, the sooner you'll taste the steel through your vitals.
David, I'll mind this.
And now, let your hand keep your head, for the grip is coming. Clamber up into the berth with your pistols.
Aye.
Methinks they're getting out their cutlasses. Come, clamber up.
Aye. I'm ready.
Oh, come, you rascals!
There. You're fighting Schuin. Him that killed the boy. Look to your window. Oh, aye. Men are coming with a spar. They're coming to break this door. You're shooting. Take that. I've hit one. Take that. And that. Run, you dog. Run back, you dog. Where are you? I can hardly see for the smoke. Oh, you've killed Mr. Schuin.
Aye, and there's one of your wigs for you. The others seem less anxious now. And you, lad, have you done much execution?
I winged one. I think it was the captain.
Good, then I've settled two. Ah, but there's not enough bloodlet. They'll be back again. Be your watch, David.
Can you hear what they're saying?
Was showing bungled it. Which man he paid the piper. This is what we'll do.
I'm sure they're coming on again.
Is what I pray for. Unless we can give them a good distaste of us. They'll be in a sleep for us, lad. But this time, mind, they'll be in earnest.
I can hear them.
Aye.
Where are they?
The skylights!
On the door! They're coming in! Gotcha! Oh, back there! Oh, where's my cutlass? Here, I'm coming! Back, David! Give me room! Room to charge them! Here, you back! Take it! Ah, you've routed them! Routed them all!
That's the man. Oh, David, I love you like a brother. And oh, man, I'm a no bonny fighter.
There was a flush in Alan's face, and his eyes were bright as he tumbled the four dead men through the roundhouse door. As for me, all of a sudden, and before I had a guess of what was coming, I began to cry like a child.
Oh, now, David, my man. There, you're a brave lad. Oh, dinner take on, lad. All you're needing is a wee bit of sleep. I'll take the first watch. Aye, you've done well by me, David. First and last. I would not lose you for all Appin, which is my name, I'd have you know.
I slept, and he roused me up, and I took my 3 hours. Alan found pleasure in the thought that he'd not only ousted the officers from their cabin, where we had the daintiest food and all the drink on the ship, but we had condemned 2 of the thirstiest men in Scotland to what they hated most, cold water.
And depend upon it, David, we shall hear more of them. You may keep a man from the fighting, but never from his bottle.
Aye.
Here, lad, reach me that knife, and I'll cut you off one of the silver buttons from this coat.
Oh.
I had them from my father, Duncan Stewart. And now I give you one. To be a keepsake for last night's work. And wherever you go and show that button, friends of Alan Brechk will come around you.
'Tis beautifully wrought.
Aye.
I shall keep this as a talisman for when I have need.
Aye, lad, do that.
Who there, Mr. Stewart? I will have words with you.
You answer him. From the roof. Here, take your pistol.
Aye. Ho! You down there. Speak out, and take heed that I'm armed.
Aye. The cotton wants word with your friend. They might converse at the window.
How do we know what treachery he means?
He means none, David. And if he did, 'tis honest truth. We could not get the men to follow.
Tell him the captain can come to the window on parole of his word of honor.
Oh, aye. Mr. Stewart will speak to the captain if he gives his parole.
Aye. Oh, one thing more. You'll agree I showed you some kindness when you first came aboard, so
Aye?
I ask you now if you could not hand me out a dram of liquor. You see, David,
Yes, you can have a dram.
Here's a pannikin.
Oh, thank you, Alan. Here, Mr. Ayek, if you'll reach up.
Aye, bless you, boy. I'll not forget you for this kindness.
Aye, we need no thanks. Just send the captain.
Aye.
What will you say to him, Alan?
I'll make him take me where I am to go. And you too, of course. No more of this talk of selling you as a slave in America.
I think he's coming now.
Mr. Stewart.
This pistol is loaded.
No. Put that thing up. Have I not passed my word, sir?
Captain, last night you haggled and argled-bargled like an apple wife, and then passed me your word, and gave me your hand to back it. And you ken very well what was the upshot. Be damned to your word.
Well, sir, you'll get little good by swearing. You've made a sore hash of my ship. I have no hands enough to work it. There's nothing left me, sir, but to put back into Glasgow after new hand.
No. You'll have to set me ashore where we agreed.
But my first officer is dead, and there's none of the rest of us acquainted with this coast, sir. And it's one very dangerous to ships.
I give you your choice. Set me on dry ground in Appin, or within 30 miles of it, except in the country of the Whig-loving Campbells. Aye, that's a broad target.
All this will cost money, sir.
30 guineas if you land me on the seaside, and 60 if you put me in the Linney Loch.
It's to rest the ship, sir, and your own lives along with her.
Take it or want it.
Could you pilot us at all?
Well, I'm more of a fighting man than a sailorman. But I've often been picked up and set down on this coast. I am should ken something of it.
Well, be it as you will. As soon as I get a slant of wind, I'll put it in hand.
And now, as I hear you have one great luck, I'll offer you an exchange. A bottle of brandy against 2 buckets of water. Oh, Davy, if this breeze holds, I'll be showing you up in no time.
Aye. Oh, it'll be good to see Mr. Campbell again.
Did you say Campbell?
Oh, he's my friend.
I hate every man who bears that name.
Why, Alan, he's a man you should be proud to give your hand to.
I know nothing I'd help a Campbell to, unless it was a bullet. If I lay dying, I'd crawl on my knees to my chamber window for a shot at one.
What ails you, the Campbells?
Well, you ken very well that I'm an up in Stewart. And the Campbells have long harried and wasted those of my name. Aye, and got lands of us by treachery.
You that are so wasteful of your buttons, I can hardly think you'd be a good judge of business.
I got my wastefulness from the same man I got the buttons. My poor father, Duncan Stewart. He left me my breeks to cover me and little besides. Aye, and that was how I come to enlist.
What? Were you in the English army?
That was I. But I deserted to the right side at the Battle of Preston Pans. And that's some comfort.
But good heavens, man. You that are a condemned rebel and a deserter and a man of the French kings, what's tempted you back? It's a brave and a providence.
Oh, Tut. I've been back every year since 46.
And what brings you, man?
The business of my chief, Ardshiel. You see, David, Ardshiel that's come of the blood and bearing the name of kings, is now brought down to live in France like a poor person. He that had 400 swords at his whistle, I have seen buying butter in the marketplace and taking it home in a cabbage leaf. This is a disgrace to us of his family and clan. Now, the tenants of Appin have to pay a rent to King George, but they're true to their chief. And what with love and a bit of pressure, and maybe a threat or two, the poor folks scrape up a second rent for Ardshiel. Well, David, I'm the hand that carries it, here in this belt about me middle.
Do the poor folk pay both?
Aye, David. I told a different tale to yon captain, man, but this is the truth of it.
I call it noble. I'm a Whig or a little better, but I call it noble.
Well, you're a Whig, but you're a gentleman, and that's what does it. Now, if you were one of the cursed race of Campbell, you'd gnash your teeth to hear tell of it. If you were the Red Fox.
And who's the Red Fox?
Who is he? When the men of the clans were broken at Culloden, and the good cause went down, and the horses rode over their fetlocks in the best blood of the north, Ardshiel had to flee like a poor deer upon the mountains. He and his lady and his bairns. The English rogues stripped him of his powers. They stripped him of his lands. They plucked the weapons from the clansmen, aye, that had borne arms for 30 centuries. And now, in there steps a man, a Campbell, red-headed Colin of Glenure, the Red Fox. In he steps, and gets papers from King George to be the king's agent on the lands of Appin. And at first, he sings small. But by and by, it came to his ears how the poor farmers and crofters were wringing the very plaids to get a second rent for Ardshiel. Well, and the Red Fox heard it. The black Campbell blood in him ran wild. He sat gnashing his teeth at the wine table. What? Should a Stewart get a bite of bread and him not be able to prevent it? Red Fox, if I ever hold you to gun's end, the Laird have pity on you. There grows not enough heather in all Scotland to hide you from my vengeance.
Man, Alan, ye are neither very wise nor very Christian to blow off so many words of anger. They'll do the Red Fox no harm, and yourself no good.
Oh, barring that about Christianity, I'm much of your mind. But this is what the Red Fox did.
I come to that.
Ardshiel was to starve. Aye, that was the thing. But them that fed him would not be bought out. So the Red Fox sent for lawyers and papers and redcoats. And the kindly folk of that country must all pack and tramp. Aye, every father's son out of his father's house, where he was bred and fed and played when he was a child. What cares, Red Fox? If he can pluck the meat from a chieftain's table, aye, and the bit toys out of the children's hands, he will gang him singing.
It's not this Campbell's fault, man. It's his orders. And if you killed him tomorrow, there'd be another agent in his shoes as fast as spurs can drive.
You're a good lad in a fight, but man, you have Whig blood in you.
Mr. Stewart! Mr. Stewart! Come and see if you can pirate!
Is this one of your tricks?
Do I sound like tricks? Man, my arm is useless. My ship's in danger.
I'm coming, Captain. Well, come along, David. Aye, Alan.
There you both come. Good. There. That fountain of spray in the moonlight. What do you call that?
Well, the sea breaking on a reef, Captain. And now you ken where the reef is. What better could you have?
Hey, if it was the only one. There. Another one. If I'd counted these reefs, if I'd had a chart, or if Shuan had been spared, it's not 60 guineas, no, nor 600 would have made me rest my ship in such a stone yard.
I'm thinking, Captain, these'll be what they call the Torren rocks.
Are there many of them?
I'm no pilot, but it sticks in my mind there are, 10 miles of them.
Oh, there's a way through them, I suppose.
No, it somehow runs in my mind that it's clearer under the land.
We'll have to haul our wind then, Mr. Ryak. It falls to you to go aloft. Let us know how it looks by the foretop. I cannot send these wounded men. I'll help them keep hold on the tiller.
Aye, aye, sir.
We'll try your way of it, sir. In with the land. But I think I might as well trust to a blind fiddler. Pray God you're right.
Thank God I am, Davy. But where did I hear it?
See to the south, it's there. It's here, in by the north. I'm the point on your helm.
Orkney, David. This is no the kind of death I fancy.
What, Alan? You're not afraid?
Well, no, but you'll allow yourself. It's a cold ending.
I'm on your helm. Clear water ahead.
Ground, you were right, Mr. Stewart. You've saved the ship.
Keep her away, our boys. Reef the wind.
Launch the skiff! Look alive there!
Which way, man? Hurry! Look out!
Let me help!
I and me!
Do you know this shore, Ellen? What country is it?
What's possible for me, David? Campbell country.
Can you swim at all?
Nary a stroke, man. Can you?
Not I.
For the love of God, hold on! The ship's turning over!
I went down and drank my fill. I came up, got a blink of the moon, and went down again. My body felt as it was burst. I came up remembering that a man sinks a third time for good, and down once more. Yet I came up, wondering why I was not like other men. Then down again, and up, and down, and up. And all the while I was being hurled along and beaten and choked and swallowed whole. And the thing so scattered my wits that I was neither sorry nor afraid. I found myself holding a wooden spar. A spar, it helped. Then, all at once, I was in quiet water. I now lay across the spar, becalmed, and began to feel that a man could die of cold as well as drowning. The shores of a distant island mocked me. Some instinct of self-preservation caused me to kick with my feet, still hugging the spar. I was moving. It was mortally slow work. In about an hour, I'd got well in between the points of a sandy bay. In my heart, I thought I'd never seen a place so desolate. But it was dry land. I was incredibly tired, and my kicks were now little more than a waving of my legs. Then, my foot touched bottom. I was wading, alone on a strange coast with the ship wrecked and Alan maybe dead behind me, but I was wading ashore, grateful to God, as I trust I've often been, but never with more cause.
Kidnapped by Robert Louis Stevenson is one of the world's great novels brought to you each week by the NBC University of the Air. Listen next week to the final episode of Kidnapped. And don't forget that your local public library invites you to make use of its many facilities. To add to your enjoyment of this series, we recommend the Handbook of the World's Great Novels, which you may obtain by sending 25 cents to Post Office Box 30, Station J, New York 27, New York. That's Post Office Box 30, Station J, New York 27. Kidnapped was adapted for radio by Clement Fuller. The music was composed by Amo Soderstrom, and the orchestra was directed by Bernard Berquist. The entire production was under the direction of Homer Heck. Bill Fine is featured as David Balfour, and Larry Alexander as Alan Brechk. Captain Hoseason was played by Jess Pugh, Ryak by Marvin Piesner. Others were Cliff Norton, Charles Mountain, and Fred Smith. This is John Conrad. This program comes to you from Chicago and is a presentation of the National Broadcasting Company and its affiliated independent stations. This is NBC, the National Broadcasting Company.
Welcome back. A great and exciting sea tale. I don't think you would expect anything less from Robert Louis Stevenson. The only thing you can fault the production on is that the fight was a bit lackluster, with a lot of exposition being used to describe the action. However, it really can be a challenge to portray an exciting battle, but I've seen ways of doing it where it's done smoother than it was done in this episode. On the other hand, what I really did enjoy about the production was the way they brought the storm to life. Just some great sound effects there, and I was impressed by the work on that. Into this new section, Kidnap continues to be a really effective coming-of-age story. I appreciated David's interactions with Alan Brechk. It reflects David's goodwill, but also the fact that he's at a point in his life where many of his beliefs and attitudes are not really his own, but have been ingrained or passed on to him. So he's a bit more open and perhaps persuadable. And of course, that music when Alan was talking was very moving, at least to this particular Scotsman. All right, well, now it's time to thank our Patreon supporter of the day, and I want to thank BookGeek28, Patreon supporter since October 2021, currently supporting the podcast level at the Shamus level of $4 or more per month, and you can support the podcast as a Patreon supporter at patreon.greatdetectives.net. But that's all for now. We will be back next week with the final part of Kidnapped. In the meantime, do send your comments to box13 at greatdetectives.net. From Boise, Idaho, this is your host, Adam Graham, signing off.